Hey everyone, it's me Ray Long, and we're back again. We're going to do another episode of the Wizard Beard Painting, as I just called this because, fuck it, got a beard, it's kind of wizard beardish, so we'll call it Wizard Beard Painting. There you go, see, it's easy, it's made a brand, there you go. Today I have a special treat. I'm going to finally paint this evil looking bastard right here. And this should be a little, I don't know why I keep, this little bastard should be a little more interesting to paint because it has so much surface area, and this is one of those unprimed Reaper miniature models that I was telling you about before. You might be able to see the imprint on the bottom if I can get the angle just right. Stop being an asshole here. Alright, you get it. Anyway, I was telling you before that I've only got part of this model fully assembled. I tried using glue, I tried using rubber cement, not rubber cement, plastic cement. Definitely not rubber cement, plastic cement. And it didn't really take that well. So I think what I'm going to do to assemble this is actually probably get some green stuff. And just, you know, kind of put a thin coat around here and in here and get it there and let it harden and do its magic. I'm also going to need to get the green stuff to fill in some spots over here. You might be able to see them. There's some ugly gaps that need to be filled in with some green stuff. It would do this wonders. And they're a little loose right now, but I can hold it like this, and I can really. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I can really hold it like this, and get a lot of the attention to detail. Some of the other models that I've been painting, it's been a little tricky because they're already fully assembled. And sometimes it's hard to get the brush in little nooks and crannies. So we'll paint this top, and we also have this bottom right here, right? And this base. Now this base piece and this body piece I've already plastic cemented together a long time ago. It's kind of curled up a little bit. I want to actually make, this model is so big, I'm thinking about making a diorama or like a display out of it. It's so big and interesting. But look at all this gross texture. This is really we're gonna go with a Nurgle theme on this one, maybe. I don't know. I was thinking a Nurgle theme and maybe making this like a God damn it. I'm sorry people, I'll get used to the orientation of looking at myself in a mirror here. I like to lean, so I gotta position the camera just fucking right. I'll get the hang of it, don't worry. I might twist my brain inside out, but I'll get the fucking hang of it. Anyway, there's a lot of gross texture and detail on here that really kind of lends itself well to like a swampy, disgusting bug-like creature. I was also thinking about doing a paler, like a more pale color scheme. Maybe looks more undead, zombie-like, and less nurgly. Maybe more, pale Rackhearth flesh, and some light blues and purples. Maybe some light oranges. I don't know, We could also just go with a completely crazy fucking color scheme and make it brightly colored. You know what I mean? Make it kind of brightly colored, like something you don't want to see or touch in nature at any fucking point in time, because you know it's either gonna spit venom at you or cover you in poison. So either way, we can definitely evoke some kind of toxic feel with this wonderful hunk of plastic right here. Right? Let me see if I can orient this down. You don't need to see my face so much, do we? Maybe. Alright, fuck it. We'll do this. Alright, so we've got to decide what we want first. And I think some things we have to consider if we're going to paint these and then assemble it. We have to think about the colors right through here, right? Where the model meets and joins together all throughout here. We want to make sure that our painting is consistent. So this will be interesting. I've never, like I said before in the first episode, I've never painted a model and then assembled it. So this one's partially assembled, and we're going to paint most of it. And in a future episode, after I get some green stuff, we will, oh look, interestingly enough, see the bond was really weak, so this already just came off. And this one came off too. And bet you these will come off real easy. Yep. This is, in fact, not even fucking remotely close to being all the way assembled. The jaw is really on there well, though, so that's good. All right. Actually, this is fortuitous. I like it. All right. Fuck it. Let's get some music going while I think. We've got something different today. We certainly do. We've got something different today. We'll see if you guys enjoy this. Okay. Well, let's fucking get painting. I haven't used this Averland Sunset base really at all, and looks like we could probably put it to work. what I'll do is I'll have to go and wash the model really thoroughly and dry it and then prime it. So we might do that on a different episode, which is not a problem because we have other Reaper miniatures we can paint, plus our ongoing Plague drones. So this little guy is another Reaper Bones miniature. We'll try this one. Again, you're supposed to be able to paint this without priming it. We'll see. We'll say fuck Everland Sunset too because this came out of the pot kind of weird. And instead, maybe we'll take a look at like the Reaper Master Series paints a lot. I think you get a lot of good pigmentation out of them. And this set came with a few models. You can see their example paint schemes. It's kind of hard to do something different with a skeleton. I mean, you can always make it like red or something else. I did start doing the orc. I'll show you. This is a while ago. This is well over a year ago, by the way. But you can see started painting this without any primer. It looks pretty decent. I just got some base coats down. The brush work is sloppy because I was only using one brush. It was a starter brush that came in the paint kit, you know? And it's hard to get detail if the tip is too big. What? She said. There's another Reaper miniature that I painted. And I have another one over here. This is one of the first, this is the first miniature I paid a lot of attention to while painting. And I used techniques on this that I learned from watching Kenny Boucher's channel, Next Level Painting, so shout out to them. Shout out to him, rather, in the Long War. Thanks for putting out all that content, man. You and Rob on Spiky Bits are fucking awesome, so please keep it up. It's definitely, this is unfinished. We could definitely put some work on the feet, so maybe we'll touch this one up a bit. This looks like somebody's toddler puked on it, which might be an interesting effect, but we'll see. We'll see how it dries. Ugh, so gross. That might not be a lost cause after all. Okay, so taking a look at this knight. You know, we could go with a standard metallic look on the armor. You know, sometimes the plastic on these, they bend a little bit, so you might have to gently massage it back into place. But anyway, yeah, we might want to do something original with the armor, and I'm not quite sure what. We can make it look like the armor was made out of stone. It could I don't really have just a good red and black model yet. There's completely that, except for my Necrons, but they're really more red, black, and gold. This could be red and black, but that seems like an obvious choice. Maybe we can come with a better maybe use this as a test color scheme for the big guy that I want to paint that's unassembled. But for now, let's give it kind of like a bone armor look. That's kind of fucking scary. I'd be a little scared if I rolled up on a motherfucker with bone. Get this on relatively fast. And since we're doing a base coat on here, we should actually use a better brush because this is a little more finely detailed. Did we learn nothing from our previous experiments? Maybe since my beard is so black, I might just, when I prime other plastic models, maybe I'll start priming them white as a base. aren't getting messy, you're probably not doing it right. There, little evening gatekeeping for you. All right, these motherfuckers. New York during my junior and senior high school, junior and senior year of high school, Holly High School, and Holly, New York. And I had an amazing commercial art teacher named Peter Bonsis. Yes. This is going to be good. If you can't get it to bend into place, I've heard that you can boil them for a few minutes to loosen it up and then bend it where you want and then let it cool. I don't know if that's advisable or what that would do to the integrity of the plastic of the model. put like another hour or two's worth of work into this and call it done, right? And it'll be a good looking model. It'll be at least tabletop quality. You could game with it. You could put it down on the table in your favorite D&D or Pathfinder session, and people would be accepted. They would accept it, you know. But you can also put more work into it and more hours to take it beyond just tabletop ready into a little masterpiece, you know. So I think for someone like me who hasn't done uh, and loyal, if I fucked up an estimate and ate the cost, you know, if I were just up front with them and said, look, I didn't give myself enough time to do this. It's going to be a little bit late, but I'm not going to bill you any extra for my time because we already agreed to this, right? And that has worked out really well for me in the past. Really well for me in the past. People seem to like that a lot because, you know, it shows integrity. Look, if you're going to fuck up a project, you cannot make your that you may, this hypothetical relationship you're burning, they have relationships with others. They may, you know, word will get around. You know, they'll talk to their colleagues and they'll say, hey, you know, avoid so and so. You know, they'll have long memories, man. Especially if you fuck them over. So be very careful if you go down the commercial art route. There's a reason a lot of commercial artists are very hungry for a while they're learning how to be good at business, you know, because they're not good at business. And I'm not saying I'm great at it. I'm just saying these are some things that I've learned selling time in art and creative labor. So we'll let this hang out for a second and dry a bit, and then we'll look for any white spots. But I think that's a pretty good, solid, clean coat of Rackard flesh. And we're gonna go for like a bone, weathered bone type of look for the armor. I think it'll look cool. this song is awesome, in my opinion. Anyway, like I was saying earlier, they say you don't need to prime these, but we've effectively primed the whole thing, right? By putting this layer of rat cry flesh on. So, it may be that there are different chemical properties in the actual primer that interact with the plastic. And it may be that when they say prime, they literally mean like a matte black prime. I don't know enough about it though, you know. So, about the chemistry of the different paints, you know, if that's the case. But I do see a few little naked little white spots on here that we're going to touch up in just a minute. Seems like you guys have an awesome community and a really big place to play. A lot of table space, but my local game store back in Greenville, North Carolina was Blue Ox Games. So if you're in Greenville, North Carolina, go say hi to Harry and everyone else at Blue Ox and go buy some fucking Reaper miniatures and start painting them. going for a bit of a desert look here. So that's what I kind of starting to see in my mind's eye. Bone armor look. Alright, and let's just make sure again. We got all the little bits of exposed white plastic. It'll be hard to get them all. Whisk away any excess paint on the creases. I want those to be as clean as you can get them. Just like your fucking mother taught you. Keep your creases clean, ladies and gentlemen, just like your mother taught you. Alright. If she didn't teach you, hopefully you taught yourself, you stinky, rotten motherfucker. Alright. Not you, obviously, good listener. I'm talking to some hypothetical, filthy straw man, my own concoction. Oh, here we go. I'm sure this is real fun, focusing over here on this angle, right? Alright, so this is about done. I think we got all the little white spots. Knowing me, I probably missed a little one somewhere, but I'm not going to worry about it. Your own shade by making a really thin wash, which is kind of my whole style anyway, right? Like going for that watercolor thin wash. So could get the same effect with paints you already own that aren't Games Workshop shades by just making a wash of your It's a good little starter kit if you want to get into painting. Those are some core colors. We have a nice leather brown, Eldar flesh for our dry brush. See how it looks. Now see, so far I'm not entirely happy, to be honest with you. I'm not entirely happy with how these two look together on this model. It looks kind of, I don't know. It's okay. It's not bad. It's definitely far from done. Use the tiny brush from the last video. This is the dry brush I was using before. So really, everything I've been doing so far, this all looks uniform. We're going for like this bone armor look. But we're gonna start pulling features out here and painting them a little bit different after we get this. This is really just the base coat, you know? That's all that this is. Again, I didn't want to lose any of the detail in the model, so my paint's a bit thin. It's application. That's okay. Like I said before, you can always add more paint to the model. It's hard to take it off without fucking it up. But you can always add more. And easily fuck it up. Use your tiny brushes, use them to your advantage. Really work the edges, make sure they're nice and clean. Yeah. Like I said, I was inspired by Next Level Painting and Spiky Bits to bring the hobby back. And so, fuck it. I'm going deep. I'm going fucking deep. As Joey Diaz might say. If you guys are looking for some good comedy, go check out Joey Diaz. Anyway, you see how there's some dark, rich values or shadows coming through already? That's because we spent the time building them up on the base texture of the model. And since our red here, our Mephiston red, is nice and thin, we're not losing any of the detail on the model, and some of those values are subtly coming through the layer, as it dries, and that's good. It gives it like a real kind of a fabric look, or at least it does to my eye. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Or not, I don't give a shit. Do whatever the fuck you gotta do. It's your goddamn life, not my business. I'm just trying to engage with you. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. That sounds a little suspicious. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna end this here in just a few minutes. I just want to get this layer on before we wrap this episode. Probably stop rubbing my finger over the fucking area that I just painted. Alright, we're gonna cut here in just a second. Who's this we talking about? Well, it's me. It's a one-man show. A one-man video podcast operation. And if you want to know what I'm using software-wise, I'll be happy to tell you. I'm using OBS, Open Broadcast Studio. And all of the graphics that you see surrounding my video here, the Strange Devices logo, the wallpaper, all the other graphic elements, made those myself in GIMP, which is the free man's version of Photoshop. I don't want to say poor man's because so many thousands of hours of engineering have gone into making a pretty decent piece of software. So let's just finish up this layer, get these details, right where the back of the armor meets the this cloak or cloth or whatever the fuck it's called. I used to know all the different parts of medieval armor, medieval European armor, but as you can see, I don't know them now. I would think as many hours as I had playing Final Fantasy, fucking Super Nintendo, and PlayStation 1, and on emulators and everything else. To have a decent command of the basics of your stock medieval fantasy fucking suit of armor, but I don't, so fuck it. Alright, and now we got this little tricky spot in the back here, which we can get right in there real good with our Artificer layer brush. Oh, this is fucking sexy. This is a sexy looking model. Get that last little bit up in there. Yeah, make love to the plastic. Make love to the plastic. Let's see if we get a little more. See if we can get a little more love up in here before we go. A little more love right in the back. The back of the model, right in the back door there. A little back door love. That's right. Made a back door love joke. What are you gonna do about it? Alright, I'm gonna let that dry. So, not bad. This is where we're at so far. I'll take some pictures because obviously this camera fucking sucks. Along with the lighting and everything else. It's just not a good representation of the model, but I'll take a photo of it. And that's what we've got so far. And so to recap on what we've done to the model to get to this point, just clean my brush here so I don't forget. And then we'll end. So, started off with Rackhearth flesh. Right, let me just pull that up. And then we did a wash of the Seraphim Sepia. And then we did some dry brushing with the Eldar flesh. And we did another wash with Agrax Earthshade. Right. And did that. We did Mephiston Red on this fabric here. We started working on that fabric. So, you can see underneath the leg there's some holes that we need to hit. You see that? Right between the, exactly right there. So we'll hit that up. It's important to see that. That's what I was trying to hit earlier. Got some red on the boot that we'll clean up later. And we'll work on this guy some more in the next episode. Alright, thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you guys soon.